Hi there. If you have COVID and you've been suffering with COVID headache and you want to get some relief from that headache, then this video is going to give you a lot of tips and tricks for overcoming that headache and reducing the pain as much as possible. My name is Jeff Broomfield, and I used to suffer with migraine headaches, and I also right now I still have COVID. And I had the headache for a couple of days, and since I know about the COVID, I know how to battle the headache, to reduce it, and even get rid of it sometimes. And now the first thing that's really important about headache is to make sure that you nose breathe. And if you mouth breathe, what's going to happen is you're going to hyperventilate and it's going to get even worse. And so you have to get your breathing in line. And the first thing to do is to make sure that your nose is clear. And there's two reasons why your nose might be plugged up. And the first one is that, of course, it might be a snotty nose. And so the easiest way to deal with a snotty nose is so what you're going to do is you're going to exhale all the air out of your lungs. You're going to plug your nose, and then you're going to shake your head for as long as you can. And then when you inhale again, then your nose should be cleared up again. So you breathe out, plug your nose, and shake it like this as long as you can. And then when you let go, when you inhale, your nose should clear up. And you need to do that a couple of times in order to get your nose to clear up. So that's one way that your nose gets all plugged up. And another thing is to make sure that your head's elevated, because if you're laying down flat, then of course gravity is just going to fill up your nasal cavity. Now, the second way that our nose gets plugged up is when the tissue starts swelling. We've got this tissue in there that when the blood starts flowing to it, it plugs it up. And the reason for that is that it actually stops us when we're over breathing. So if you sit there, even if you're breathing out your nose and you're breathing heavy and you can hear your breath, you're over breathing. And so that's causing the problem. And so your nasal passage is constricting in order to slow down your breathing on you. And so the best way to overcome that, and it's probably the most difficult thing to do, is to actually slow your breathing down. And the best way to do that is to use 4-4-8 breathing. So that's inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 8. Now, you could also hold for another 4 before you inhale again, but that'll be up to you. And when you're breathing for the count of 4, so inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so when you go through that cycle there, what you want to make sure is that you're breathing as lightly as possible at the same time. If you're breathing really, really heavy, then you're breathing too much air again. So it's not about how much oxygen that you're getting, because it's more of a thing about balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. And when you've got not enough carbon dioxide from overbreathing and you alkalize your breath too much, then there's not enough carbon dioxide in your bloodstream to signal to the hemoglobin to release the oxygen to the cells that need it. And so it's kind of counterintuitive when you feel like you can't get enough breath, you actually have to slow down your breathing. And so when you slow down your breathing, your nasal passages will clear up again, and you'll be able to breathe a lot easier by slowing your breath down. And when you focus on the counting, then you're going to give yourself something to target to. And if you're trying to sleep, it'll really help you go to sleep if you're doing the counting too. Okay, so those are the first couple of things that you need to do. And another thing you could do is, if you're going to take a hot shower and run the hot shower on your back, then you do the breathing as well, and that'll help with that. Another thing that you can do is put your feet in hot water and then put ice on the back of your neck. And that'll change the way the blood flows through your body. So that's another technique. Now, there's a lot of acupressure points that you can use as well to help alleviate the pressure from a headache. And the very first one here is at the top of your head. And so you can go to find that spot on the top of your head. And you can feel it. It hurts a little bit. And you push right down on that spot there. And when you do that, then it focuses everything to that spot where you can feel it. And you don't feel the headache so much anymore. The next spot that you can do is inside the eyeballs and actually pushing so that you push in the eyeballs a little bit. And that'll relieve the pressure there. The next spot is right here in the temples, and you can feel like the little divot there, and you push straight in on those. And so, like if you've resting your elbows on a table or something, you can bring your thumbs in like this, and just find a way to get the pressure consistent so you can sit there like this and apply pressure to that area. The next area that you can look at is the in front of the ears. There's like a little divot in here, so you can push on that spot there. And there's also one behind the ears, and you'd have to find it in there. It's right behind the ears, and if you get right in that spot, right under you can feel the skull, and there's like a little spot there. You can push right in there and get that spot too. And then there's another spot at the back, right at the base of the skull right there. There's a little spot there, a soft spot, and you can apply pressure in there, and that'll help alleviate the tension from the headache as well. And which one works the best for you will depend on, what kind of headache that you have. And another thing that you can do is give yourself a neck massage, and you just reach across to the opposite side, kind of hook your hand like that, and pull on that muscle, and the muscles and the tendons and stuff that stretch up through the neck here. So you can come in here and do this, and that'll alleviate some pressure there too. Ice is sometimes helpful with this, but the breathing is number one. Breathing is number one, and when you're doing the thing where you've got your ice on the back of your neck and your feet in the hot water, another thing you could do is actually eat ice. So when the ice goes inside, it seems to cause a temperature difference. The roof of the mouth seems to transfer that ice up into the brain. And so sucking on ice is really helpful as well. All right, just wanted to add in one more tip here. And this is for when you mouth breathe at night and you're snoring and you wake up feeling really crappy and you got a bad headache after waking up like that. And the headache comes from the mouth breathing. And there's a simple way to stop yourself from mouth breathing. And I've done this for the past 3 nights, and it's incredibly helpful. And all you do is you tape your mouth shut. So just take a small piece of tape like that. And that's enough to keep your mouth shut and keep you nasal breathing all night long. And you'll wake up feeling so much better. So hopefully you've found some relief with these tips, and I'd like you to drop some comments down below and let me know what's helped you, or if you've got other tips and tricks that'll help other people, then share them with us, please. And also, if you like the content, make sure you give me the thumbs up and subscribe so that you get notified when I release more stuff like this. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, have yourself a good one.